shook his head and said, "Just like a typical woman, you can't drive." I feel I drive fine. I mean, sure, people have told me they're not positive I'm supposed to drive on the shoulder, or they know I'm not supposed to drive right down the middle of the road. And okay, yeah, sometimes I hit the curb on a right turn, or a left turn, or really no turn at all. And of course I space out sometimes. Who doesn't? You know, I can hear you next to me murmur, "No cop, no stop," when I pass by those red octagon things. But it's called a rolling stop. I know what brakes are. Don't get me wrong. I understand that you get scared when I stop at green lights or go 22 miles an hour over the limit or accidentally turn the wrong way on a one-way, or have to drive through every terminal in O'Hare Airport because I can't listen to a GPS. I get it. I really do, I get it. But do you know what's scarier than my driving? The car behind me. It doesn't matter the size or type of car it is. It makes me uncomfortable to suddenly realize there's a car there. I don't know them. Why are they driving so close to me? Or not close at all? Do they think I'm in their way? Are they judging the way I move? Do they wish I would speed up? Are they getting annoyed with how long I pause? Did I turn on my turn signal soon enough? Can I assume they know that I know what I'm doing? What do they want from me? But of course, the ultimate question is, are they getting angry at me? Are they angry at me? Or really, how do I make sure they don't get angry? Because I've heard the stories of road rage gone wrong, ending in death. So do I speed up when a car is 10 feet behind me? Do I worry when he turns on the same street as me? Do I worry if he follows me all the way to my house? Sure, I live by a police station, but what do I do if a man jumps out in a fit of rage simply because I cut him off, turned in front of him, moved too quickly, didn't move quick enough? Do I worry about the signals I send to him? Or is it his job to worry about that? Do I need to be this cautious about how upset a man could get over my actions or my inactions? I guess I am a typical woman then. If my fear of what a typical man is capable of doing to me is any indication. Hi, I'm Angela Miller. This is the slam poetry course put on in partnership with Children's Theater of Elgin, Fox Valley Theater Company, and Elgin Community College. 8 years ago, I started teaching at Dundee Crown High School. It's in Carpentersville, Illinois. And when I started teaching there, my boss came in the room while I was showing a slam poem to teach my students argumentation. She left immediately after the poem was done and sent me an email asking me to meet with her in her office. Me, being in my first year of teaching, I was super nervous, thinking, oh my gosh, am I in trouble for playing something that sounded like hip hop in my classroom? But the moment I entered her office, she took a moment and ended up telling me about this phenomenon known as louder than a bomb, and asking me if I wanted to start a slam poetry team at Dundee Crown High School. The rest is history. Now, not only do I coach the slam poetry team at Dundee Crown High School, I have won Coach of the Year for LTAB, as well as I currently head the program for the Youth Poet Laureate of the Fox River Valley. Hearing about all of this amazing poetry and hidden art scene, CTE and Fox Valley Theater Company contacted me, wanting to know if possibly there could be a partnership in the works where they could start dabbling in a different type of artwork than many of you are used to seeing on the stage. After 10 weeks of grilling these kids about their identity and having them write out their emotions, their thoughts, their feelings, their truths, their stories. That's what you're about to see tonight, is their final chance to use their voice to show and tell you all about their identities. So, for tonight's performance, we have 8 captivating students performing for you, telling their stories, their truths, right here on the Blizzard stage in Elgin Community College. Our first performer is named Josh Callie. Each of them wrote their own bios, so this is what Josh Callie wants you to know about him. Josh Callie is a senior at Dundee Crown High School, and it's his first time performing poetry. He likes to write music and play the piano. He is just your average blonde boy. He wrote this piece because he felt that his apologies, after countless exclamations, mean less and less. He is hoping that through reading this piece on this stage, the meaning of his words will shine through once again. So, here is your first chance to see a performance by Josh Callie, known as My Words Caved In.
My Words Caved In by Joshua Callie. Within everyone else's cavern, there lies a crystal heart that I've been entrusted with. But I've broken it with my lies and attempted to glue it together with apologies, but not into a heart, but into a false sense of awareness, of trust. Using the jagged edges to cut their wrists and the glue to stop their breath from shouting the truth about me, the truth that I take the fragments of their personalities to try to build my own crystal heart. But my conglomerate complexions crack under the heat of anxiety and the pressure of depression. Metaphorically metamorphic, 24/7. I overlook the hollowness within myself because I'm blinded by lustrous insecurities and choked by the lies I've told. I leave them with fissures that I try to fix with my fault lines, only leaving quakes that last forever and plumes of smoke. I'm sorry.
Isn't it amazing how performance can add so much to the words that we say? Thank you so much for that performance, Josh. Our next performer is KAITLYN SCHULZ. She is a senior at Dundee Crown High School and has won multiple awards for her poetry starting all the way back in 4th grade. She focuses heavily on the future of our society and strives to help advance her community. She refers to herself as a poetic activist and puts action behind her words. The piece she's sharing today addresses the stereotypes people place behind mental illness and what it should look like. She hopes that by talking about what mental illness really looks like for herself, people will realize that treatment and labels are never one size fits all.
I'm KAITLYN. This is depression from a depressed person. Every time I see someone talk about depression, it is an invitation to a draining conversation. I can hear their story bleed from their mouth, and I'm reminded that I have the same sanguine fluid running through my veins. I can feel their pain coursing through me. But no one listens to the screams for help, only the slits on wrists, right? People assume depression is a group of people who use sharpness to cope, say that I'm a poet compiled of long sleeves and razor blades. They probably think I listen to Panic at the Disco or MCR with the blood rushing through my brain, and you're right, I do. Normal people see this diagnosis and automatically associate me with their crusty band-aid of its definition. That I'm just really sad, and that my favorite pastime is self-harm, and that I wear black to stand out from everyone else. And the line is carved there, nothing more than an association. The band-aid is so old, it doesn't even hurt to rip off. If I carved depressed on my tongue and told those people how it felt, do you think they would understand it? They will see the redness and the stain and the stereotypical scar, say how sorry they are, then assume that I'm another sad girl that will scab over, give me another day and I'll be better. Or gone. Ignore the fact that the only thing I ate today was cold ramen noodles and chapstick. My hair has become a dust-ridden drawer of knots and tangles. My hands shake like silver spoons and slip fingertips every time I look at my wrist. I didn't leave my room for 3 days, and it took my family 4 to notice. I slept for 23 hours, and I'm still exhausted. I don't even know what's real anymore. But I am more than dark circles and bad habits. I am more than razor and scar, but no one sees anything but the wound. Do they not see the warning signs? The path from bad to worse? Did I make them uncomfortable? Did I cut deeper than their scratched surface? They are not listening. They are not listening. They are not listening because this poem is not bleeding. I am. And for the longest time, I've been gushing behind closed-lipped smiles, afraid of being associated with the carving on my tongue. And here I am, only seen as the blood dripping down, not the fact that I am slowly dying. They still do not get that I am internally bleeding. Just because they don't see my pain doesn't make it any less existent. I am standing here trying to accept that people still don't understand, but I can't help myself from being angry at those who still think depression is slit wrist and sad quotes, that I have to write this poem to show that this illness is messier than a few droplets on a bandage, show that I cannot snap out of an injury that cuts itself as deep as this one, show that I am more than the blade they associate me with, show that I am dying from the inside out. Do I have to carve it into myself for you to see it?
With KAITLYN's piece, we're hoping that you take pause and really think about those you know who are affected by mental illness and how maybe if we all work together, we can come up with easier ways for all of us to live as a community. Our next performer is Jill Hansa. She is a senior at Dundee Crown High School. She has lots of experience on the stage as a theatrical performer, but this is her first time performing poetry. Her piece is meant to show that she has more to her than what meets the eye. Here's Jill Hansa reciting her piece, What It's Like to Be Fat.
I'm Jillian Hansa, and this is what it's like to be fat. It's calling yourself fat and people saying that you're beautiful. It's that being overweight isn't the equivalent to ugly. It's hearing thinner people call themselves fat. It's them then looking at you for you to tell them that they're not. It's the stares when you eat a salad. It's being vegetarian and people still don't understand how I'm overweight. It's being shamed for eating fast food, yet not hearing it when thinner people eat it. It's telling people I work out daily and they look at me like I'm lying. It's the stares when I wear a crop top. It's not feeling confident enough to wear the clothes I want to wear. It's trying to hide my body in baggy clothes. It's being told I have so much confidence if I show off my stomach or my curves. It's hating my body so much and comparing myself to everyone else. It's being told I'm the funny friend because I'm not seen as beautiful. It's hating my body since I was 10 years old. It's not believing people when they tell me I'm pretty. It's developing an eating disorder at the age of 10. It's never feeling good enough and lots of self-hatred. It's finally getting tired of beating myself up over the size of my jeans. It's realizing that I determine my self-worth. It's realizing that I decide if I'm beautiful. It's not getting upset over gaining a pound. It's ignoring the judgmental stares. It's normalizing having bad days. It's seeing that big is beautiful. It's learning how to love myself since it seems no one else ever did.
When you have a theater background just like Jill has, you can imagine how strange it is going from being an actor told what to say on the stage to having to write your own script, direct it, and produce it all on your own. It's very brave of Jill to come on stage and say something like that. Our next performer is Anna Ostrowski. She is a sophomore at Dundee Crown High School and was part of the Dundee Crown High School Louder Than a Bomb team last year as a freshman. She refers to herself as a person who does poetry that's okay. She would like to dedicate this to her mother, who's helped her through her anxiety attacks through all of these years. This is her piece called Anxiety.
I'm Anna Ostrowski, and the title of my piece is Anxiety. Your heart is racing. It's increasing by the second. Anna, you know what this means. It's the third time this week, Anna, you have to focus on your breathing. Breathe, Anna, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 4, 7, 5. Anna, your mind is racing. Try finding a distraction, Anna. You know the knife isn't an option, else it's 2 years for nothing. Anna, you should see if your friends can talk. Text them, Anna, but they probably won't respond. Don't be surprised. Anna, you should listen to that one song. Pull yourself out of the train wreck, Anna. Focus on the melody. Repeat the verses in your head, Anna. Focus on your heartbeat. Hear the thuds from your chest, Anna. These thoughts aren't real. Remember what Mom said, Anna. You have to stop these thoughts. It's all on you, Anna. Just be quiet. Just sit in silence, Anna. You're alive, Anna. You're not dying, Anna. You're surviving, Anna. Anna?
What's so wonderful about Anna's piece is that I feel like it's so relatable to so many of us. Who hasn't at some point in their life felt a level of anxiety that drove them to need to capture their own breath, to understand their own thoughts, to try to slow down and take a moment to self-care? Our next poet is Jose Baiano. Jose is a Latino poet that has been writing poetry since his high school years and was a participant in Louder Than a Bomb. He has performed in various locations, from the suburbs all the way to the Chicagoland area. Although he is only 5'2", that doesn't mean his writing doesn't stop growing. Jose continues to write poetry in his free time and even takes classes to improve on it. Here is Jose's piece called DACA.
Hello, my name is Jose Baiano, and this piece is called DACA. Every night, millions of people fall asleep. They fall into dreams, dreams filled with hope. Thousands are created by minds that carry their homeland within them, aiming to live their dreams on a different land, a place that creates more borders for them to climb. They have been threatened, put into a trance while thousands of dreams are deported from their minds, slowly hallucinating, while reminding us that some view our dreams as nightmares. Our lives are constantly viewed as bootleg movies, the ones purchased from the neighborhood seller, no HD quality, but at least you can see the picture. That's a dreamer. To have no knowledge of the land that helped generations of your people grow, that's a dreamer. Never wanting the best of both worlds, that's a dreamer. But to always want to go back to the land that you can no longer return to, that's a dreamer. Imagining ice was just something to keep your drink cold, that's a dreamer. Wishing ice would just melt away, that's a dreamer. To be able to give freedom to those incarcerated children that can no longer be with their families, that's a dreamer. To be able to give them the slight luxury of your bootleg papers, that's a dreamer. To be able to give them the chance to be reunited with their families, that's a dreamer. Slowly, these children are falling victim to a Sandman that wants to keep these dreamers asleep.
So while Anna's piece was very relatable for so many of us, I think having Jose follow after her is the perfect follow-up to let us see a viewpoint that not many of us who were born and raised in America get to see. To know that others are going through moments in our society that lead them to write poetry such as that is really a good opportunity to pause and think. Our next piece is by MADI KLEIN. MADI KLEIN is a junior attending Neuqua Valley High School who loves creative topics like writing and music and art. She began poetry as a sophomore in her school's spoken word club because her best friend Jay forced her to go with. Her poetry ranges from her own issues with mental health to the love of not being a cookie cutter in society. The piece she is presenting tonight focuses on the fear of being alone and the appreciation for her friend being there to comfort her, even when they don't try to. Her piece tonight was written after a day out with her best friend, the two of them having an alternative style, taking a peek in her mind and what she thinks about while in public. Here's Maddie's piece, 2 Emos in a Coffee Shop.
My name is Maddie, and this is called 2 Emos in a Coffee Shop. The bitter musk of coffee and the hiss of the espresso machine at the counter dances with my senses. A guy whose name I can't remember was called up 3 times before he got his black coffee. I'm thirsty. I haven't had anything to drink all day. We located a small square table for 2 in the back corner, the perfect spot for us, away from the traffic of people continuously coming and going. 3 girls are sitting across the room. These girls each ordered a large caramel macchiato with extra caramel. Don't forget the whipped cream. These girls are talking about boys and TikToks and how one of them is depressed. It's impossible not to hear every breath they take in between their sing-song voices. I find it interesting how all their laughs carry the same tone like a synchronous melody. I can't tell whether or not these are the same girls I saw a few minutes before. Everyone here looks identical. All their white teeth flash as they talk excitedly, and long blonde hair with blonde highlights catches the sun, bright blue eyes, spray tan skin, short and slim, white shirts, blue jean shorts, and matching blinding white sneakers. The chairs screech on the cold metal floor as we grab the backs of the chair and sit. And it begins. Listening, watching, feeling the anxiety of, why are they looking at me? Are they listening to me? They must be judging me. But it's okay. I'm not alone. It's not just me sitting here with my black hair, my shaved head, my dark clothing, because they sit in front of me with 2 different colored shoes dangling above the checkered floor, with their small, very bare hibiscus refresher with lemonade and light ice sitting in front of mine, both making tiny wet circles on top of the square black table. I swirl my finger in the tiny droplets of condensation with the posture of an office worker, because sometimes it feels hard to sit upright when the stares of others has pressed so heavy, but it's okay. Their posture is terrible too. I lean back against my chair, they slouch forwards against the table, slowly sipping their drink, their black fingernails and silver-gemmed rings tapping quietly against their cup. Mindlessly, I start crunching on the ice that's left, still sweet from the berry flavoring, freezing my tongue and teeth. They offer me a sip of their drink. I decline. I can't help but feel like the girls behind us are talking and laughing. It's almost as if I can feel the heaviness of their stares. But it's okay. I'm not alone. I sit here with my black hair, my shaved head, my dark clothes, the poetry book in front of me. The poetry book I haven't bought yet. And these girls are all the way on the other side of the room, all the way on the other side of the world. But they sit in front of me, smiling at their poetry book, laughing at the newest Twitter post, enjoying their drink, content and emo. We sit in our treasured corner, blissful together in our little black boat of coffee beans and creamer and light ice, and definitely not caramel macchiato.
I love Maddie's piece so much because it kind of takes me back to my own high school days. While, you know, back in my day we weren't really called emos, we were called goths, and I can definitely relate to sitting in a coffee shop with books laid out in front of me, discussing with my friends how we just didn't feel like we fit into society. Thank you for sharing that, Maddie. Our final piece for tonight is by Genesis Glover. Genesis is a senior from Dundee Crown High School. In her spare time, she enjoys listening to music, drawing, and just plain relaxing. She will be performing her piece, I Am Good Enough.
My name is Genesis, and the title of my piece is I Am Good Enough. No one ever expects the fat girl to be starving herself. They always think she's doing it the healthy way. I remember the day I was tired of everyone's comments about my body and I wanted to see change. I told myself maybe I should try losing weight, it'll make me feel better. But it took a turn and I lost control. I told myself maybe I can skip 1 meal a day, it'll speed things up. I told myself maybe I could skip 2 meals a day, it could speed things up. I told myself maybe I could skip 3 meals a day, it could speed things up. Every meal I skipped tasted like victory, a taste that made me want to come back for more and salvage it on my tongue. A couple of glances in the mirror turned into aimlessly staring at myself for hours at the middle of the night, dissecting every problem area, trying to fix something that was never broken, leaving myself wondering why can't I look like all of the other girls. I knew what I was doing was wrong, but I couldn't stop no matter how hard I tried. I knew deep down I was looking forward to replacing my meals with mint gum and water. I knew deep down I liked the feeling of an empty stomach. It made me feel like my hard work was paying off. I was stuck in the cycle I was too weak to break. I told myself the skinnier the better. Now I'm telling myself any weight can be beautiful. I told myself boys might like you if you lost weight. Now I'm telling myself who needs boys? I told myself you can wear cute clothes if you lost weight. Now I'm telling myself who cares? Wear what you want. I'm so happy that I realized health and beauty is not on the exterior. I'm so happy that I broke the cycle. I'm so happy that I realized I'm good enough.
So, some surprise guests we have for you tonight are 2 guest speakers who actually came into the classroom, the Zoom classroom, with our students to teach them all about editing poetry, writing poetry, performing poetry. Our first guest speaker was Chastity Gunn. She serves as the inaugural Poet Laureate for the city of Elgin in Illinois. She is the author of How to Create a World. She has been published in Bitterzoet magazine and was a featured artist in the Elgin Fringe Festival. She has a Master's of Fine Arts in Creative Writing from Hamline University. Gunn teaches English at Elgin Community College, and when she is not grading essays or writing poems, she can be found cooking, sewing, or biking.
I wanna be una mariposa. I wanna be una mariposa.
I want to be a mariposa, wings so wide, intricate, orange, red, black veins, white spots along the edge. I want to flit and flutter, rest on the stem of a flower, blend in, hiding from predators. I want to be a mariposa, Danaus plexipus, sleepy transformation, migrating thousands of miles from the United States to Canada to central Mexican forest. I want to be a mariposa, snuggled in a warm cocoon, hibernating in mountain forest, able to change forms from crawling to flying.
I wanna be una mariposa. I wanna be una mariposa.
Our second guest speaker was Nicholas Richard Thompson. He is a spoken word poet, recording artist, and screenwriter. Nick is currently the communications coordinator for the City of Aurora, as well as a producer for the film production company Digital Alliance. He is a third of the experimental hip-hop trio known as Anumi. He is a Columbia College grad and is currently pursuing his master's in public administration from Aurora University. Nicholas is a civically engaged member of his community, a part of numerous advocacy groups, and serves on 3 boards, one being the African American Heritage Advisory Board. Above all, Nick is a storyteller of the infinite form, as he describes it.
Now see, I was born in revolution. I spawned with my fist up, a pick, and a picket sign, where resistance is survival and natural as the curls of my afro. These rocky rhythms re-ride righteously, nothing pleases or puts exciting me as it once did. I've grown weary of performances. I'm tired of the masquerade, the ball and chain, pondering with master day over constructs and contracts of the contrast, battling these bigots in their band brigade, boxing and policing bodies, great deal of baby boomers, see a binary beckon or to bless them, see inside the spectrum. Not all black and white, the answer to the question. Now see, death been all around me, I can feel it coming, papping to Nirvana, think I'm on to something. Now I'm talking with your God, but I don't feel the love and want to help the people when it ain't in the budget. My mother always sick and I can't seem to help her. She don't see her son and she just lost her husband. Brother always working, still amount to nothing. Stoic spells of splendor, give me strength to summon. Now sorry if I'm distant and so far away. Half my DNA is buried in the grave. But I see the suffering. I see the hurt of another man. Nothing is certain, I laugh at a purpose. Hatred is weakness. Barbecue Becky's you all in your feelings. Your ego is speaking. Your actions is killing. You visit the zoo but you vegan. You follow a law without reason. Tossing some prayers, they don't deflect bullets. Guns cannot kill, but too easy to pull it. They love the culture, but hating the people behind it. They tell me to kill them with kindness. See all the prejudice policy. You see the melanin hostility. Black no apology. Appropriate culture is novelty. Still it then turn to commodity. I need a pause in absurdity. I need a break in reality. I'm stressing calories, muscles, and salaries tied to my value and personage. I don't feel adequate. Dollars ain't adding up. Don't follow avarice. Move with the certainty. Going like I'm killer. What pride has been killing us. Look, all that toxic masculinity, all these polarizing politics, finding strength and vulnerability. I'm still coping with the hollowness. Writing in peril with solaces. I write as an alchemist trying to get his brother body back or keep his mother from the body bag. Look, Death and isolation, loneliness and purpose, this is a human condition. I need a cure now, but my father needs a phoenix down.
That was our whole lineup for you tonight. We want to thank you so much for choosing to watch as these students told their truths on this stage. We hope some of the poems you were able to relate to, and some of them maybe helped you learn a little bit more about people who live around you in your community. We really appreciate the opportunity to show you everything that you saw on this stage today, and we hope someday soon to be able to perform like this for you in person. Thanks.